Do you want to learn how to make $1 million trading CPI? Yeah, we didn't make $1 million today. We made about $1,200, which is a lot less than $1 million. So I don't know what you're on about. I mean, that's kind of the point of the video. You're kind of ruining the intro here. You know, like the point is, I come in, tell them how they can make $1 million, and then show them how to make $1 million. I think you're a character that I made up over there. I don't even think you're real. Whatever you say. Anyways, if you want to know how to make a good amount of money on CPI, I did around $1,200 today in my personal account. We're going to jump into it. CPI, the Consumer Price Index, is essentially one of the best events to trade as a trader. So if you want live coverage of CPI, PPI, which is actually coming out tomorrow, as of the time of me filming this, it's still Wednesday, the day that CPI came out. We killed it in the Discord. Join Trade Edge, guys. I have over $1 million in funding as a funded trader, calling out trades on the daily. Soul, who's also in the Discord, calling out trades on the daily. There are other members in the Discord calling out price targets, trades on the daily. Very collaborative group. Not going to BS you. It's not a silver bullet. So only join if you're interested in actually learning how to trade, guys. This is not a call out thing. This is not a get rich quick. You're going to make whatever. You have to do it yourself. But if you're willing to do it yourself, I will help you and others will help you as much as you need it. That's what we're about. That's what we're for. We're about mentorship, coaching, and accountability. Trade Edge, click the link in my bio. And if you want to sign up for Apex, which is the funding company that I use the link down below. The coupon works for all of their sales. Right now they have an 80% off code, so you can use my code, which will honestly give me a nice little kickback. It is an affiliate link, but it'll give you the same discount nonetheless. You can see the discount codes on their website. What the heck is a website? On their website. Anyways, my name is Forrest. I invest in stuff you should too. Let's get into today's data. All right, so let's start by taking a look at ES. ES is an index like many other indexes. You may have heard of SPY, VOO, VTI, which are like long-term investing indexes. NQ is another index. ES, just think of it as the S&P 500, right? Great way to think of it. It's what I use as a leading indicator to trade. ES is the dog, as I like to say, and then NQ is the tail, right? So here's the tail. This is actually the 4-hour chart here on the right, and then we have a 15-minute chart here. Let's just put both of these on the 15 so they're lined up. Data came out around 8:30, so I'll do a vertical line there just so we can see where the data started, and we'll do a vertical line here so we can see where the data started. Let's go ahead and do replay. We're gonna leave it on the 15. Actually, let's go down to the 3-minute chart just so that we can see this really well. So this is the 3-minute chart, and we're gonna do the replay. So we're gonna run the lower time frame for the replay. We actually trade on the 15-minute though. So we'll go right around to 8:21, and let's move this so we can see. We have our visible range volume profile here, which is what this is, right? So we'll actually be able to see where volume develops at price as this plays ahead. So I'll hit play. Woo, that went really, really fast. Let's actually go back a little bit. Let's jump to right here. So we're gonna go back to there, and we're gonna step through this slowly. So the thesis for CPI, regardless of where it goes, I know what it did, right? But here was my thesis. I said this the night before, is wherever we open, imagine it's 8:30 here. Wherever we go, right? Imagine we go down, that it's going to go here. And this was my A setup. My A setup wasn't taking this first move. My A setup was fading it back to the open. So whatever we open at on the data, so data comes out at 8:30, not the market open. Wherever the candle opens, we're going to fade that. We're going to fade that trade because it gives us an idea of, you see I have a level here, right? So that's a target that if it could go to if it opens down, and then there's another target up here where if it went up, I would fade it right here. So that was my A setup. My A setup was that trade. The next trade I was looking for after that is I was expecting it to come to the other side and then come back to the open. So I literally was essentially looking for it to sweep 2 liquidity targets and come back to the open. After it did both sides, I was expecting it to just do whatever. It could do anything. We could trend, we could go up, we could go down. I had no idea. I have no idea what it was going to do. That was my thesis, right? What is that based off of? That's just based off of observations of a lot of CPI, just looking and seeing what was going to happen. I was looking for those 2 setups. So that's cool. If we let this play out or go ahead, we can see, well, I think it's what? Shift right for a candle. Yep. Woo, big candle. So we came right down to this level. At this point, and this is the 3-minute chart, but at this point, as soon as we came down here, I was looking for a fade on NQ. Now, NQ isn't replaying right now, right? But we can see that it did this big red candle right at 8:30. We had this big red. This is on the 15. Let's go to the 3-minute just so that these are congruent. It came down. So we came down here, took that fade away here, and I was looking for immediately, took this long, I was looking for another trade. We'll go forward. See that we came back right here. So here's where the candle opened, and we trade through it. That's the trade right there. So on ES, that's 17 points. On NQ, that is coming from 15,404. On the data back to the open is what, 86 points. Really, really solid trade, over $1,000 just by taking one contract. So at this point, I was looking for the immediate sweep through. We didn't get it until the open, which we can see over here later, but we'll continue to play through this. So we'll play ahead. We did get a little bit of a pop-up. This actually faked me out here. A little bit of a pop-up. So at this point, I'm like, okay, I'm going to wait till the open to see what happens. 912, 915, blah, blah, blah. We get to the open. So now it is 936. At this point, I'm looking for us to sweep the other side, right? So I'm looking for a sweep to the other side, start to get a push. There it is. We finally got it. Okay, now I'm looking for another fade. I'm looking for another fade back to the open price, right? The open of this candle was down here at 45.15. See how long it takes. There it is. We finally trade through it. So we traded through it. You can see that we did the same thing over here on NQ. So we'll go to the open here after the open on NQ. So this was that first data candle. We came up back through the open, and this was 15,505 to about 50 points up and down. Nothing crazy there. And then throughout the rest of the day, it just did whatever. The other good trade on the day, and this is important. So we'll go back to our 15-minute. So that was the CPI trade. Let's actually take a little break there. Breathe it in. Deep breath. CPI. A lot of people ask me about CPI. I have a video where I talked about I made like $70-something thousand. Did a lot less than that today. Didn't play options on the actual data candle. People did strangles, not really doing that stuff anymore. I did play a put from here, literally way back here. Every single one of these is a 15-minute candle. You can see this thing just went sideways for hours, and then we finally came down. That paid, made bank, made like $8 grand on that trade. That was a fun trade. Futures, my futures gains was $1,200 per account, which was fine. I literally was trading 25 accounts today. Not all of them are funded accounts, but most of them are. But still did $1,200 per account, which is fine. So scale-wise did fine, made $8K in just all real dollars that I made today in my options. Cool. So that was the other trade. But in terms of CPI and how you should trade it as a strategy, a lot of people gamble on it and go for those big shots. If you do like a strangle, if you do a managed strangle where you're managing your risk and your risk is appropriate, I think that can be fine. I'm not going to say any strategy is bad. I don't like strategies though where you are more likely to lose money. So I don't like true gambles. If you're willing to lose a side on a strangle or something like that, that's fine. Your risk just needs to be well understood. I had a clear plan, which was to fade the initial candle, which was my A setup. And then I got my second fade, right? So in terms of my original thesis playing out, I was off by around an hour on the second fade, but it still came to fruition. And I just took notes on that. The other really important thing with CPI, guys, is I know there's some fast moves and people feel like because it's fast, that's where the money is, but that's not necessarily the case. You can make equal, if not more, money on any given day, right? The days that you want to trade are the days that you can read. So the reason CPI is a good day to trade is because it's readable, right? That fadeaway candle, right? CPI likes to go to a liquidity target and then pull back. If CVD was cracked, if it went through the roof, then we might be a trend day, but it's readable. So the reason we trade CPI and why it's so good is because it's readable. It's not because it's fast, right? The market doesn't need to move fast for you to make a lot of money or something like that. People get very hyped up about these events because they feel like they're missing out. But we can see here, just looking at the chart, that the day wasn't too crazy. You know, the day wasn't, we'll just, redo this back on the 15-minute chart. We'll just look at NQ. That's where I trade. Today's range was 216 points. Not crazy. Not a crazy day by any means. It was just readable. This first candle gave us a read using ES, hitting its target. Now it was a trade, and then we had another trade, the fade away here, coming back into our opening price. That's why it's a good day. And I want you guys to understand that, because if you approach, just like anything in life, right? But if you approach it with the wrong expectation and the wrong plan, you're going to get smoked, right? Even when other people are making a ton of money, you have to understand why they're making a ton of money. It's not because today is more opportunity today than yesterday. Yesterday there was trades, 8 trades yesterday. The day before. CPI is a great day to trade simply because of the opportunity to, in my opinion, fade those candles. That's not always the case. You have to read it. It's an event by event basis. I guarantee if you look at every CPI event, they're not all going to be like this. This was just based off my analysis of recent events and things like that. So that's how you can make money on CPI, fading away the major liquidity targets. I do want to talk about what ifs. So what if we didn't hit a major target? What if we just lagged out the gate, which is possible, right? Sometimes, what if we just came to here and then did nothing and we just got stuck down here and just trickled down? That's happened before, right? There's sometimes things don't play out and you just have to not play them. In my opinion, when you have a day like CPI where there's an expected move and you don't get an expected move, you should be hands off. Don't force the trade. Remember, the reason it's good is because it's readable. So if it's not readable, if something out of the norm happens, you know, they're going to start collecting premium, farming premium. All these people who are looking for the big move and trying to make the big move happen are just going to be paying their premiums to the market. So do not let that be you. Do not be the person, you know, funding other people's P&Ls. There's nothing wrong with not trading CPI. I mean, look at the price action. There's nothing crazy here. There's really nothing crazy here, right? The play was just this here and then coming back. There's nothing crazy here that should make you feel like you have to absolutely play this. Be smart with your money. And again, if you want coaching, if you want help on this stuff, join. My voice is cracking a lot in this video. Join our Discord. I was talking a lot today. Join our Discord. We'll get you right. We can walk through this more in depth. But literally everything I'm saying here, guys, is what we say live every day. So that was CPI. We're going to keep this one short and sweet. Again, my name is Forrest. I invest in stuff. You should too. Go ahead, hit the subscribe button, the notification bell, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.